Speaking of going all out, the Panthers will be going out of Charlotte next week to head down to Atlanta and take on the Falcons. So what do you guys expect next week when they take on the Falcons? Mind you, the Falcons didn't play today because they played on Thanksgiving, so they're going to be very well rested. Yeah.
28-21 Atlanta.
28-21 Atlanta.
35-3 Atlanta. I have no faith in this team anymore, man.
I'm going to say 28-25 Carolina.
Wow.
You don't play the way you played against Atlanta and then come out flat. I remember when I said before the Saints game, we were sitting there watching, I said I got a good feeling about this game because I felt like the Panthers felt like they had something to prove after getting shellacked by Atlanta. Now you go up against the division champs, and I think they played a good game. I mean, if our kicker could kick, we would have won that game. Yeah. So I think it's the same. It's gonna be the same thing that year. Division rival. They got one against you in your house. You go against them in their house. The Panthers are mad. They're upset. They're gonna go and they're gonna play well.
I'm gonna change my pick, but I also want to say one thing. My last pick was emotional. Could you tell? So, no, I'm gonna say we lose another close game, 30-27, and my reasonable way of saying that is we've been losing close games. It's a pattern, and I just don't see how that changes next week. But here's what I wanted to say. So I'm watching that New Orleans and Atlanta game on Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, you had a bad Thanksgiving.
And New Orleans, they made Matt Ryan look pedestrian. They made him look flustered. They confused him. They got after him. I think they sacked him 5 times. And I look at the talent on New Orleans defensive line, their defense, and I look at us on paper. Y'all know on paper don't mean everything, but I look at us on paper, and I say to myself, why the hell can't that ever be us when we play Atlanta?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why is it that they make Matt Ryan look a certain way, but he's Joe Montana every time he plays us? I'm confused.
Atlanta's our daddy.
Here's what I'm looking at. Last season, we started off 6-2. And then we ended the game on like going 1-5 or something like that. And being the head coach, you have got to keep your team motivated throughout the entirety of the season, no matter how bleak it gets. So we come into this season, we start off 0-2. Cal Allen comes in. We go on a 4-game winning streak. Now we've lost X amount of our games in the last X amount of our games, and now we are 5-7 right now. And
5-3
at one point we were 5-3, talking about trading Cam Newton. And now we're talking about Ron's hot seat. We're talking about Cam Newton now having a secure spot here in Carolina. Ron Rivera, for the second straight year, is having to come up with these motivational speeches to try and keep his team motivated. And after today's loss, the team has to be looking at the standings and we're not going to the playoffs.
Right.
We're not going to. So I don't think there's nothing to say to get them motivated.
That's true, and here's the thing about Ron Rivera, and if he keeps his job, this will be it. We've seen this. In fact, this is kind of like the bizarro world Ron Rivera. Typically, the Panthers started off poorly, and then Ron Rivera would say, I don't, here's some gummy bear juice or whatever, and the Panthers went 8 in a row and make the playoffs.
Right.
The last this season and the last season has been the opposite. We start off well, which we always said, if the Panthers could just start a season off well, we'll be okay.
Right.
And then the fall off happens. So it's possible.
Well, we'll see what happens. But hey, y'all, we got to go take a break real quick, and then we'll be right back. All right.